Hi there everyone, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Another card making tutorial for you, and it's Monday, which means we have our Monday colour challenge, and this week we are using Garden Green, Early Espresso and Flirty Flamingo. I have leapt to the Beauty of Friendship stamp set to create the card today. It's a set that was introduced into the annual catalogue on the 4th of May. I haven't yet had a chance to use it. So there we are, there's that nice single tree for a nice clean and simple card with that lovely believe in you message. So this is the stamp set. So we've got distinctive elements and then some layering over the top as well. And some really nice sentiments to go along with it. And then there is a coordinating die set, so we can cut the stems of the trees. We've got some cute little birds as well, and we've got some very useful rectangles there which coordinate with the sentiments in the set. So that is what we are aiming for. So let's get started. It's not a very complicated card, so it shouldn't take long to do. I'm just going to pop it over there so I can see what I'm doing. We are going to just introduce another layer though. I think I just wanted a little bit more of the Flirty Flamingo to come through. So I have my white card base ready to go. Pop that down, and we've got another piece of basic white to do our stamping. We're also going to die cut our other panel on there as well. Alright, so we have got the stamps are just here ready to go. So I've got the it's not the stem, it's trunk of a tree, isn't it? Trunk of a tree, and our foliage images are just here. So there's a distinctive element and then there's the detailed element. I've actually used both using the same coloured inks, so we'll just get all of those bits and bobs stamped out. So we're going to use the Early Espresso, as you might imagine, for the trunk there. Just light tapping on the ink pad to get that really well inked. I just want to make sure that I've got room to do my die cutting, so that's why I'm just leaving that that die there. Just some firm pressure. We're going to be covering up obviously the top portion of that anyway, so if it hasn't come out quite right then that's fine. Okay, so that's Early Espresso. Then we can do our foliage with the Garden Green. So I'm going to do the more solid distinctive element first. Light tapping on the Garden Green ink pad, nice firm pressure, and straight up, and we get that lovely mottled look that you get with the distinctive. And we could actually just leave it like that, but I decided to go over the top of that same ink, and it just, if you just sort of look over the top and get it roughly lined up, it just intensifies certain portions of that tree foliage and gives it a little bit more definition, a bit more sort of texture. Okay, so I don't know whether, yep. Okay, so it just gives it another level of something. Alright, and it doesn't have to be lined up absolutely perfectly. And then we're going to use the Flirty Flamingo for the sentiments. So that's how I'm bringing that in. I'm going to stick with the I Believe in You. I think that's really cute. Okay, I think we can probably squeeze that in over. Let's not push our luck. Let's give ourselves plenty of room. Okay. And that's that. Easy. So I've got some bits of low tack tape here just to put the dies in place, which I have put down. There we are. Didn't take off these ones. I thought I'd already got them off, that's why. trying to think ahead of myself. Okay. Just pop that out the way before I have a mishap. So again, we'll just line the dies over the top of the stamped images. Probably wouldn't be terrible if you had to fussy cut those actually, just sort of do some wibbly cutting around the edge, but the dies do come in very, very useful obviously for this. I'm going to be using my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for this. Now all the dies individually would go through the mini machine, but as we're trying to maximise that cutting surface, I'm actually going to be using the larger machine so I can get all of these done in one go. Okay, so the most important thing is when you're trying to die cut a lot of things at once is that you don't want the dies to cross over each other, so you wouldn't want anything going over the edge. So that's why I'm just taping these into place and just making sure they're not going to interfere with each other. Just going to put another one across there, I think. Okay, and we can just send all of those through the die cut machine in one pass, and then the only other thing we will have to do is my additional Flirty Flamingo portion. The cracking on the machine that you heard there is completely normal, especially with open shaped dies like those rectangles, so it's perfectly fine, it just all comes through. It's just the dies doing their job and cutting into the acrylic plate, that's all. Okay, so misaligned slightly as I've gone through, but we'll just go with it. Probably because I was, did you see it move when I was messing about with it? Yeah. Just trying to make sure that this didn't overlap. Ooh. She says, getting it all in a tangle. There we are. So the die cut piece and our tree, so they're all done. So we can put all those to one side, get those tidied up in a bit. I'm going to take the next size up stitched rectangle there, cut a piece of Flirty Flamingo as well, just to give another element onto an otherwise quite clean and simple card. So this time round, because I've got the option, I'm going to send that through the machine sort of corner first, and you'll hear there's far less noise. So that's another tip for you. It's a lot easier on your machine if you are able to send it through corner first, and then it the pressure isn't quite as harsh. Okay, so there we have our additional layer. It is quite a thick layer. I don't know whether it's going to work out, but we're going to give it a try and see how the two compare. What we are going to do is emboss this though, this white piece, and we're going to do that with the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. That's this one. It's a 3D embossing folder. So we're going to just put that cardstock in there. Doesn't matter how, it's quite a random pattern. And we're going to need to use our number 4 plate for our machine. Okay, so this is the plate that we use with 3D embossing folders. And then we just need our base platform, and all the instructions are actually on the machine. So here we are, for use with the 3D embossing folder, base platform number 1, your folder, and then plate number 4. So that's all we need, so we don't need these other two. Okay, like so, straight through the machine. It's good practice to put it in with the hinge, oops, pings out the other end, hinge of the folder first, just so you don't end up with it jamming. Can't imagine you would though, but we get this lovely texture on there, and we're going to just emphasize that texture just ever so slightly with just a bit of ink. And I mean just a bit of ink. In fact, I wasn't even going to re-ink the brush, but it is quite a pale colour, so I'm literally just touching the ink pad with the brush just to sort of put just a hint of colour over the over that piece of cardstock, and it's really subtle, but going to the white it will really make a difference. Okay, just to bring it in just ever so slightly. Completely optional, you don't have to do it, but it's another way to bring in a colour into a colour challenge like this, if you're stuck on how you are going to do it. Okay, so we just want to put some tape onto that, and I don't have a spare one of those handy, so I'll just resort to my spare tape runner here. That's the one that Stampin' Up used to sell those, but they retired them, but I had some left over, so I usually use them off camera. Okay, so there's our layer on there, and we can bring in our card base and get that adhered onto there as well. Ooh. Preferably straight and central. It's a little over to the right, I think, but you get the idea. Nothing harder than getting things straight and central, I'll tell you. Okay. So our tree just needs a dab of adhesive on the back there, just to secure it to the trunk. Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit of wet glue just to get that secured to the card, just because that trunk is quite skinny, so I want something that will go on there. There we are. I raised up the foliage on the original, but entirely up to you if you want to do that. So you're just going to have to hold that down just for a couple of seconds, because we're trying to put that onto a textured surface. And then we just want a couple of dimensionals on the back of our sentiment panel here to add those over the top. Just as a little message there. Okay, so there we are. A little variation on the theme, but you sticking to the colour challenge. Do like the clean and simple of this one, but don't mind the additional pop of the pink on there. You could have used one of the other colours there as well, and obviously interchanged the sentiment and stuff. So obviously we are confined to the challenge in terms of using those three colours. So yeah, there's two options for you using the, what's it called? Beauty of Friendship stamp set. Okay. All the products I've used today are going to be linked in the description bar below, so if you just click on that little down arrow down there, or show more depending on the device, you will see a list of the supplies I've used, or with clickable links straight to the online store should you wish to purchase anything from me. I'd like to thank you all for your support As again, all you ladies who comment regularly, I do love the feedback. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there, won't you? And I'll see you soon. Bye.